Kahoot English. I'm Mr. S. It's Learning Lockdown, and this is Liverpool College.
I'm Mr. A. It's still Learning Lockdown, and this is still Liverpool College, and he is still Mr. S. What are you doing?
I'm just reminding myself that before we look at today's English work, let's look at what you did for yesterday's English work.
Okay, let's see what you've been doing in English today. We've got Joe working hard. Always has a football with him, Joe. That's good to see. There at his desk. We've also got this from Rajutha in rugby. This is the works he's produced, and this is her. Now this, we had a picture here. Here's Simon and Bracknell working hard at his computer on the English task. Well done, Simon. And finally, Patricia in Morecambe, clearly getting stuck into that book for her English task too. Well done, guys.
Wasn't that great?
That was fantastic.
Thanks, everyone.
I could watch that again.
The people in the what's the department called? The feedback department, the review department. They have told us that they want more work coming in. They've noticed since these holidays, just because the BBC have got, David Attenborough.
Who even is he? I've never heard of him.
Well, they might have David Attenborough. We've got Clacton Babbage. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's not even a competition.
No.
You know where to go. But if you want to send us...
And they stole our name.
Did they?
Well, it's called Learning in Lockdown. They put a preposition in there.
BBC. However, though, if you do have any work, even if it's not necessarily the work that we set you, you can still send it to us.
Yeah.
A few people have done that.
If you want to appear on YouTube, then do that.
We still like to see it, so don't worry about not sending us our work. We won't get upset. We just like to put you on the channel. Anyway, English.
Well, actually, before English, we're going to crack on with the joke of the week.
Of course. Now, we have a guest who's doing this week's joke.
We do have a guest. Now, in geography, or where in the world this week, we met Clacton Babbage the Fourth. Oh, actually, I didn't meet him. You met him.
I met Clacton Babbage the Fourth, and while he was here, we did actually ask him, because he is a good yarn spinner, he is good at telling jokes and stories, we thought, let's get him to tell us a joke. So get yourself nice and comfortable, like he is, and listen to Clacton Babbage the Fourth's joke of the week.
Hello there, chaps. Yes, I do have a great little tale for you today, so get yourselves cosy and listen into this. Well, there once was a man, many years ago, back in the day when I was a young little whippersnapper, and he used to work on a bus as a conductor. Now, you may not have a clue what one of those is, but basically what he would do is they would sell tickets to those who got on the bus of where they needed to go. But you see, he wasn't very good at his job. No, there was once a lady who got on the bus and said, "Can I please have a bus ticket to the market?" And he gave her a bus ticket for the train station. That's not the joke, although it was rather funny, wasn't it? See, he got it wrong, and next day a young man got on the bus and he said, "I need to get a ticket to the army barracks so I can get to work." And he gave him a bus ticket to the hospital. What a terrible man at his job he was. But you see, this went on for years and years. "Can I have a ticket to the swimming pool, please?" "Yes, sure. Here's a ticket to the local cinema." "Oh, could I please have a bus ticket to the train station?" "Of course. Here's a bus ticket to school." He was just terrible at his job. He was the worst bus conductor anyone had ever seen. But you see, this went on for years and years and years and years, a bit like this story. And a lot of people started to get fired from their jobs from being late. One person got kicked out of school because they were never turning up to lessons on time. And eventually, enough people had put in enough complaints that he was arrested because he'd been causing so many problems in society. And you see, when he was arrested, he went to trial. And back in the day when I was a young lad, when they did trials, they did them properly. And this bus conductor, he was sentenced to death. Yes, believe it. He was sentenced to death because he was so bad at his job and he'd caused so many problems. And he was sentenced to death by electric chair. So the day came where this man was taken to the electric chair for causing so many problems of being the worst bus conductor in the world. And he was attached to the electric chair. And he said, "Sir, do you have any final requests before we kill you?" And he said, "Yes, I would really like a whole melon, please, and a spoon." So off they went and they got him a whole melon and a spoon. And he happily sat there for a good 2 hours and carved out the whole melon and nom 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 nom, ate it up, and then smashed the two empty halves together and said, "All good," So they strapped him up to the electric chair, they put the straps on his wrist, they put the hat on his head, they put his legs all strapped in, and they went over to the switch, and they turned the switch, and all the electricity surged through all the wires, and the man sat there, rather happily, as if nothing was happening. And the scientists were baffled. The policemen were baffled. And they couldn't just try again. You see, it's a lot of law to actually execute someone. So they had to rearrange his execution for another day. And that other day eventually came, and he was led again to the electric chair. And they said, any final requests? He said, yes, please. I'd like a whole melon with a spoon. So they went and got him a whole melon with a spoon. And he sat there quite happily, and he carved out the whole melon. And then he got the 20 halves, smashed them together, and said, I'm ready now. And they strapped him up, they put on every single strap in the headgear, and then they turned on the switch and the electricity surged through the wires, and he sat there quite happily, as if nothing was affecting him. And this time it really baffled them. They had to rearrange the execution for another day, and that day came and they had to give him one final request, and he asked, you guessed it, for a whole watermelon with a spoon. And he ate half of the watermelon, ate the other half of the watermelon, smashed the other parts together, and it happened again. This electricity was turned on, and he was absolutely fine. By this point, the policemen and the scientists and everyone involved were getting a little bit suspicious. So when they rearranged the execution for another day, they said, you can have one final request, but you cannot have a watermelon. Is this still recording? So he thought, not allowed my watermelon. Fair enough. Okie dokie, I would like a chicken breast smothered in barbecue sauce, please. So that didn't seem too bad, so off they went. They got him a chicken breast smothered in barbecue sauce, and he ate it all up, and it was thoroughly delicious. They strapped him into the electric chair, they turned everything on, and he sat there absolutely fine. It happened again. He ordered the chicken. He was fine. It happened a third time. He ordered the chicken. He was fine. And they started to think, this man knows something. He's causing the machine to get really bad. And they rearranged his execution for another day. This time he wasn't allowed chicken. He wasn't allowed a watermelon. So all he asked for was to watch a YouTube video of learning lockdown. Ha! No, I'm joking. They didn't have that back then. But he just asked that a circus performer could come and perform in front of him. And we watched the circus performer, had a great time for his final few hours, and then he was strapped into the electric chair. And this time, he was absolutely fine. Yes, you guessed it. And they tried hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times to execute this man. And no matter what they did, no matter what they restricted him requesting, he was absolutely fine. Until one day, they said to him, Sir, we have tried executing you so many times because you are so bad at your job, but we can't seem to get it to work. It's never happened before. What is it that you do that stops our electric chair from working? What are all these strange things you keep requesting? How do they stop our electric chair working? And he sat there and he says, none of those things stop it from working. I just really wanted a watermelon as my last meal. I really wanted some chicken as my last meal. I really wanted a laugh, so I asked the circus performer. I really wanted all those other things, so I just asked for them. The reason the chair doesn't work is I'm just a really bad conductor. Oh man, that's a good one.
Haha.
I feel like I've aged a lot since we cut to that.
Yeah. It's a very scientific-based joke. Maybe if you didn't get that, show it to whoever's looking after you and maybe they can explain it.
Show it to the BBC, see if they get it.
Oh yeah, David Attenborough explained that one.
Tell you, they're not going to be cracking as many jokes as we. You won't get that kind of material on the BBC.
No, I've actually watched one of the lessons, and you know what it is? It's just one of their bite-sized lessons, repeated but under a new title.
High quality education and resources, not as funny.
On to English. Now, English on a Friday is always a little bit more relaxed than usual. So we've got a little Kahoots quiz in the description below.
We did have a winner last term.
We did!
Katie was the winner of our Kahoot quiz and she won a picture of some cream eggs. If you win, send us proof of your score, a screenshot of your score, number 1 there, and we will send you a picture of a prize.
Absolutely, and she really enjoyed those cream eggs. She said
did.
they were delicious.
She cut them out and she licked them all.
Oh.
Every single one.
How did she do it? Did she go all in one or did she take the top off and suck out the middle?
I think she just cut the top off because it was on paper. So,
off you go.